Hey, we are back. We are back. Welcome to Let's Chat. Hey, T, y'all. This has been, listen, we have Miss Lorenza on here. And if y'all missed that, make sure y'all head over to YouTube. Check that out. Head over to our Let's Chat page. We had such a good time. Listen, we were talking about some stuff, child. If you are just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome to Let's Chat. We've been talking about it. We started talking about the question, should the wife sit in the front seat or should the mama sit in the front seat? We started out there. Miss Florenza done took it all the way to the left and pulled it back around. We're going to have her back on for Girl Chat. We so excited, but that was like a great, great interview. We had such a good time.
It really was. We've been all around and back again.
Listen, and now we have Miss Anita, who is coming to kick in the chat room door. Let me tell you, I met Miss Anita like in 2017. I did an event and I did a writing workshop that Victoria and Rashonda had facilitated. They did their writing workshop at my event and she was there. She brought her son. That was the first time I met Anita. Fast forward a year later, we were in at one of Victoria's editing classes together. And so just to be able to experience her, she is a whole experience, y'all. She is a whole experience. Her creativity is dynamite. Her son, he can write too. So listen, it's not, she ain't just playing with no pen. She is not for play, okay?
I miss those days in Victoria's class.
Hey, Miss Anita.
Hey, ladies.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are good. We are good. Okay, so you got to let us know what you've been cooking in your creative kitchen. You got books out now, child. Let's go.
Oh, gee. In my kitchen, I have, I'm working on one of the Knights of the Castles books, The Knight of Grand Crossing. I am working on a romance novel, which is, a novella. I am working on, I also have a little suspense novel coming. And I've self-titled like Vengeance. I don't know if that title will stay, but I've got a couple things coming. And you mentioned my son. My son is actually writing a book now as well, so.
Awesome. Now, you shared with us just now a few different genres. Tell us how you feel about approaching and that you don't just stick to one.
I think if I had to stick to one, right, it would be the mystery suspense. The romance novel is a spinoff of something that Nalena Kai has written. So I'm kind of writing something to go along with that. So I think my novella, Summer Breeze, was actually like a romance novel. And then I had one in the Just Kiss anthology, which was Forbidden Kiss, which was a small little, I mean, it wasn't that big, but so it's not really my forte of writing romance, but I prefer like the suspense, some blood, guts, all stuff.
Did you say blood, guts?
Blood and guts.
Okay, I want to make sure I heard that.
Murder. Yeah. Okay. Little murder mysteries.
Okay. Just a little murder, huh?
just a little bit.
Okay. Now, see, I love to read, and I like the varied genres that are out there. Now, since you do like the suspense more so than others, is that something that you read yourself?
Yes. Yes, I love reading suspense novels, yes. I read romance too, but I love suspense.
Now, wait a minute. We just not going to speed past what you just said. We going to talk about this. I want to talk about this blood and guts thing. Listen. Now, we love a good sex scene. Listen, if it's going to be nasty authors, let it be nasty. If not, please let them go to Starbucks for conversation. we don't want to
Oh, you
read
can
about
have
it.
a sex scene in the blood and guts. I mean, you can have a
Listen,
sex
Oh,
mystery.
the best part about a good book is if you got a good killing scene. Listen, you got to know how to kill them, honey. So, how did you get into going from romance to wanting to get into the blood and guts? What was that process like for you, learning how to write the two different genres?
Now, actually, I started with the blood and guts before I went to the
mm,
romance.
Oh, so you was killing
really?
Because,
them, but then you was loving them.
well, yeah, kind of. When I started, I took some classes from J.O. Campbell, actually. She was teaching classes on writing in like different
Uh-huh.
views. So, and we were doing like third person, and it was just like dark, and so I was writing it, and she was like, "Oh, Anita, you need to go ahead and write that because it was really dark."
Now, how
Wow.
was that process for you though, when you had to sit down and write your first murder scene? I mean, your first love scene, knowing that normally you had to come from a different place to be destructive, but now you have to write about love and romance. And how was that process for you? Take us back to that time when you had to sit down and write that book originally.
To sit down and write like romance, at first it was very difficult for me, and
Hmm.
it was Martha Kenderson that told me, in Elena Kai, think of yourself, like think of either the love that you want or love that you've experienced, and
Mm-hmm.
write that.
Absolutely, because y'all
Hmm.
and don't act like y'all don't agree. Everybody got a book boo. That book boo is,
That's
is,
true.
is that man that you just want to have, that confidence that you need to have. You know, when you're writing these books and you have these male characters, how was it for you writing your first male character in a romance scene?
In the romance scene, my male character was great. I mean, it was easy to write him. Devon, who was in Summer Breeze, it was very easy to write him. I made him a very lovable character. So he was a lot
Hmm.
better than my character in Show Me No Mercy. But
Hmm.
I love writing Devon, but I just wrote him based off of a male that I would be attracted to.
Okay, now your readers, us readers, we have book boos. So, as an author, do you have one particular character that is your book boo?
Hmm. You know what? Actually, I do not.
Really?
I do not. I mean, I like a lot of them. I like Beverly Jenkins characters. I like Brenda's
Oh yeah,
character.
Miss Beverly.
I like some of Victoria's characters. So no, and Elena, she's writing all these sexy East Indian men. So, but no, I do not. I'm not just one
Listen,
particular.
listen. Let me tell y'all about Kai. Okay, Joshua Nancy. Mm-hmm. Listen, her character, they ain't going to Starbucks for no coffee and conversation. We can tell you that much.
Right, right.
Coffee and
Uh,
conversation going on there.
yeah. So she's writing some hot characters, right?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. And so, how was that for you? Being able to embrace that type of romance, because you had to write a character that you can fall in love with, but that would also resonate with your readers as well, and being able to bring the readers in. You know, as readers, we love to be able to be experienced. We were talking like about this with Miss Florenza. Reading is the experience. Those scenes are an experience, and so when it's a sex scene, when it's a romance scene, if they sweating, we want to be sweating. If they falling out, we
Right,
want to be
right,
falling out.
right.
Listen, I want to spit my water out like, did she just write that? How do you gear your pen to be able to give that experience?
Oh wow. Honestly, so the last one that I just wrote first,
She
when
fast, y'all. Listen, she got a big old smile on her face. She fast. Go ahead, Sister Anita.
when
We ain't
Elena
gonna
said
tell
you have to
nobody.
write when Elena said you have to write a sex scene, I was like sweating bullets. I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Like, and I'm thinking like these books are huge. I could not write a sex scene for this book. And we had a class. J.M. Campbell said, if it doesn't make you feel something, you didn't do it right. Start over. And
But
I took
that's
it
That's
from
right.
true. That's
right,
Because
true.
we
and I
can
took it
feel it as
from that
readers.
approach. I said, okay, I'm gonna write scene. I want to make people feel something, so I got to write it so that I feel something.
That's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly how I wrote it. That's how I approached writing it. What would I like to
Absolutely.
feel? So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that's so, it's so true that when you are writing, a lot of authors say, I'm so tired of seeing this book, or I'm so tired of seeing these characters. Listen, if you're tired, then we tired too.
Right, right.
A reader can see your naked soul when you are writing. They can literally see your naked soul in your pen.
Right.
So if you are
Mm-hmm.
emotionally disconnected in a character that you are writing, and you haven't researched, and you haven't come and resonated with that character, we're going to be able to see that. We're going to be able to see your emotional disconnect. We're going to be able to see your awkwardness. We're going to be able to feel these things through your pen, because that's how we're
Mm-hmm.
feeling you, and that's how we're experiencing you, through your pen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to ask you, Miss Anita, if you could drop 5 jewels on someone that is thinking about writing their first book. They're on their first book. They're thinking about doing these different things, and making expanding their pen to write different genres. What 5 jewels would you drop on an author, on any level, to help their transition through that process?
First, make yourself knowledgeable of the genres that you're trying to write in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say study the people at the top
Uh-huh.
of the
Mm-hmm.
production. Um, and even do your research on just the ideas that you're wanting to write about. Do all your background work, do your research, invest in Grammarly. Uh, let's see. Get a group of people that you know that write well, write with them. Like I'm a part of Elena Kai's tribe. So
Uh-huh.
it's
Mm-hmm.
people, we're all like a family. And if
Mm-hmm.
one of us has a problem, everybody else jumps in to help. And I think that's important to have, like when you're first out of the gate, is having a group of
Uh-huh.
people that you can work with
Mm-hmm.
and that have your back. And even if you don't feel like, hey, I don't feel like my stuff is good, at least you have people
Mm-hmm.
that you can bounce your stuff off of, and they can help
Right.
correct stuff or help
Mm-hmm.
direct you in a a better way to write something. So, and I think those
Mm-hmm.
things are really important.
They are. And you touched on something, Anita, that was very important in the tips that you just shared. And that was to study the people at the top. Those that are at the top more than likely are approaching this as a business, and not just putting out books. How do
Right.
you feel about that? And at what point must an author really take this writing and make it a business? And in
Yeah.
other words, they got to study the business, because as we all know, and we always say here on Let's Chat, you know, books are a business.
Right. I can speak for myself because when I first started, it was like I've always wanted to write. I mean, since I
Mm-hmm.
was 5, I mean, I remember always wanting to write, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like it's treated like a hobby. And even so, I
Mm-hmm.
think there are days now that I still treat it like a hobby, But
Right.
I see more and I do more for it as a business because it really is a business. It's about
Mm-hmm.
like I can write books all day long, and like you said earlier, if at least if I'm not marketing myself and I'm not putting myself out there, people aren't going to buy my book because they don't know me. They're not having that experience with me, and
That's right.
that's not
Mm-hmm.
what you have to approach it. So you have to, if you want to sell and you want to be good at what you're selling and what you're writing and creating, you have to
Mm-hmm.
approach it as this is a business. This is my business.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's so true. We're gonna just stop for just a quick minute. Miss Anita, I want you to log out and log back in because you're a little froze. So I want you to unfreeze.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get back to right where you were at. I just want
Okay.
everybody to be able to hear because you're about to give them some real jewels of knowledge and I want them to experience this thing. Because what she said is so true, T.
It is. It really is. And at some point, you can't just constantly just write, write, write.
That's right.
You have to want to elevate yourself. You want to elevate your knowledge of the industry. And that's at a point where you start to learn the business part of an industry because that's a whole different world,
That's
the
right.
business part of literature and actually writing. And I think you get
Absolutely.
more out of it when you start to learn the business.
And this is the thing, and I don't want y'all to send me no inboxes. I'm just saying, everybody is not marketable, but
Right.
you weren't marketable. You know that you
Hmm.
were shy. So when you have these things that are your fears that you are experiencing, and you are trying to branch off and do something different, you're trying to branch
Hmm.
off and do something new. You have to
Hmm.
absolutely prepare yourself for that process to know that I'm stepping into a new realm. I'm stepping into new things. I'm doing something different. So therefore, I have
Hmm.
to start doing things differently. I
Right.
have to, if you may have to go and take a speech class, just to
Hmm.
prepare you to speak in front of people if you have a fear of speaking. But you can't be locked up, especially as an author. An author, you are a 24-hour business.
Hmm. That's right.
You are a
No time
business. You
off.
are a walking billboard for your brand.
Hmm.
You're a walking billboard for your books. So therefore, when you go to events, you have to watch, pay attention to those authors that are already there, or the ones that are more seasoned that are around you. Miss Anita has a tribe. It's very important to have those people around you. Talk a little bit about what you were going to talk about before you went back out and came back in, Miss Anita.
About just writing with the tribe.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
I can't even think of how many of us. I mean, I think right now there at
It's
any
about
given
30 of
time
y'all. It's about 30 of y'all, maybe more than
it's a
that.
lot. It's a lot. I mean, and I think we all have our own. I think we all have our own cliques, our own people that we click with. But I think that at any given time, you can go to any person in the tribe that is good at something and say, "Hey, I need help doing this. Can you help me?" And I really believe that they would all pitch in and help. And I think that is very important to have, especially as a new author, because
Hmm.
really, when you're first writing, you can really get bummed out and you're like, you can be your world's worst enemy and talk yourself out of doing something that maybe you're calling, you know. So I think having people behind you or around you that can support you and give you that boost that you need or the kick in the pants that you need is very important.
That's right. That's right. And now,
Hmm.
when you're sit down, Miss Anita, and you're writing, do you write character driven or are you plot driven when you're writing your books?
I'm more plot driven.
And what about that direction of writing falls in line with your pen? What about it makes you secure? Because sometimes authors, they change it up a little bit where they try and do something a little bit differently, but they always have that security, that day one. What is the best part of being able to be plot driven for you?
For me, just being the plot, and I think for me as a writer, because I write sequentially, I write in chronological order, because that's kind of how I
Mhm.
see it.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think for a lot of people, they can write like characters, and I'm not really good at doing like character assessments and all this stuff. I see what I
Mhm.
see, and I build off of that. But I'm
Mhm.
learning. I'm
Mhm.
learning how to do character stuff. Um, but
Mhm.
I just see like for me, I get titles. I get titles. I have probably 10 titles now of story ideas. So I get titles first.
Really?
So it's like thinking. Mine is more about thinking the plots. Where can this story go? What
Mhm.
can I have that way before I have characters, and what's this character gonna do? And it's more about like, oh, here's a story. Okay, and say it's this person, and they did this amount of things, or this set of things. How do
Mhm.
they get there from point A to point B to point C? And that's kind of more of how
Mhm.
my mind works, and it's easier for me because once I sit down to do it, it just kind of, I mean, it's just in order. And so, like, if I got to shuffle stuff around, I kind of have to I mean, I really have to stop and really think about if I got to move one chapter, I got to stop and go, good place to put this. And I got to, like, in my head, I got to redo the story all over again. Not
Mhm.
that the whole story changes, but I just have to walk the whole story out again in my head.
Mhm.
And you know what?
That.
I'm glad that you said that because I was talking to an author about this yesterday. Writing a book is kind of like putting together a puzzle. Just because you write
Right.
it for chapter one does not mean that's where it's going to fit. The most important thing
Correct.
is to get whatever is in your head out. In the words of Victoria Christopher Murray, you want to throw up on that paper. You want to get all
Yeah.
of your thoughts out because if you're confused, if you are bogged down with thoughts, it's going to come out in your pen. And
Right.
those,
Mhm.
and we're a distracted society. You know what I'm saying? So we get distracted by those small things like, okay, well, this is chapter one. It doesn't have to be chapter one. It may not fit there. It might fit better in chapter 35. This might be the end that you started writing instead of writing from the
Mhm.
beginning. Don't get
Right.
so bogged into, so stuck, so tied to where you have those pages
Right.
at because they may not lay there.
Right.
Now,
And I've
Mhm.
stopped putting like chapters on the stories. Like I don't even put like chapter one. It's just like just write and get
that's
it
right.
out.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
and if
Mhm.
you got to move, it's not. I think if you start and you start saying, "Oh, this is chapter one," and you write for that to be chapter one, that
Hmm.
in your mind that's always going to be chapter one.
That's right.
So if you
Mhm.
just write. I mean, just write down what's in your head, like you said. Just throw up on the page. I always laughed when
Mhm.
Victoria said that, but
I have a question, Anita. You know that you say you have titles in your head, and Lisha and I have had so many authors come on our show at different points in their career. Since you come up with your titles first, do you feel that you have to write to your title? Because some authors they just write and then the title comes to them from the story. But it seems like your title comes before your story. How do you make them both cohesive?
just like, for me, I don't write necessarily to the title, but a lot of times I
Mhm.
get the titles first, and
Mhm.
I get the titles and I get like a tagline or just something. It's always like show me it's from there. I kind of developed the story from there, not necessarily based off the title. That's why I said like the one
Okay.
I know that I was working on, I got the title Vengeance. I started writing the
Mhm.
story, but now that I've started writing it, I don't even think that
Mhm.
that title even goes with this story. That's why I was like,
Okay.
I
Really?
think that title might change. Yes,
Oh, interesting.
And so
maybe
now
that's
that
where. Maybe that's another story.
Exactly, though. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And even your thoughts never. Now, you know how people go back through, they reread, and they wanna just, "Oh, let me delete this." Don't delete it. Create it. I always tell people, create a document that's like a parking lot, and all those things that you feel don't fit, put them over there because they're gonna fit somewhere. They're gonna be, that might be your whole book too. You got, over there.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have them all sitting in Scrivener. They all have their own folder. So as I get
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I go out and drop it in the folder and leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, Miss Anita, I know you were on the post earlier when we was talking about it, honey. We was talking that talk, and you was in there. You was in there talking about it with us. So we
Yeah.
were talking about, should your wife sit in the front or should your mother sit in the front? And you had a very strong opinion. Let's talk about it, Miss Anita.
Because I said I did offer for my mom, and but that was based, and I offered for my mother-in-law as well, but that was based on the fact of just the way I was raised. I would do that because they are elderly.
Right.
So now, would I allow another woman to sit in the front? No, but I would.
Right.
I would.
Did she cock her head to the side like absolutely not?
No. But my mother-in-law or my mom, yes, because for them to get in and out of the front seat versus the back seat, but they both said no. So
Hmm. That's good that you made
sorry.
that offer.
But I like, and you know
That
what?
that is that is so good that you made that offer.
Listen, Miss Tony says she's only sat in the back seat 4 times, and that was because she had kids back there. Other than that, she
Tony
don't
said
do
she
the
would
back
take the
seat.
front seat. Tony, you can have the front seat.
Child, it ain't even an option. I'm sorry, that's just me. You can come after me if you want, but that's how we run my household.
Okay, that's good.
Absolutely. So I asked Tony a question, and I want to ask you a question
Okay.
too. What does it mean for you? What does the word wife mean to you?
Support. Just companion, love. Um, it, it
Miss
means
Anita
like,
really want to say the boss, but she's trying to be nice. Look.
yeah, the boss. I run things. Yes, yes, yes. And actually, uh, honestly, the wife does run things. We let men think that they run things, but
Oh,
Oh,
listen.
that's a whole nother show.
She said what she said. So now this is our topic for tomorrow. So who do you serve first? Do you serve your husband or do you serve the kids?
kids. Okay, if my kids were little, I would serve my kids first. Number one, because they can't feed themselves. I'm saying
Right.
they're little kids. They can't
Mm-hmm.
feed themselves. And besides, he's grown. He can get up, walk in the kitchen, and get his own plate.
Ooh.
Listen, he alright. He know where the food is. It's in there on the stove. I know
His
that's right,
legs
Miss
work.
Anita.
His legs work. His hands work. He can walk in the kitchen.
Well, Miss Anita, this is the first time you've been on Let's Chat. Well, no,
It
yes, this is the
is.
first time you've been on Let's Chat. So we always like to do something a little fun. We're not gonna do nothing too drastic. I don't ask any of those questions only because it's all Tony. She think about them.
Okay.
She asks them. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
I know she's not gonna give you a hard one because it's your first time. But I'm just, if you got pearls, clutch them now because I don't know what she's gonna ask you.
I don't have any,
Well,
so we good.
listen. Oh, see, now I might change up everything. It's gonna be.
Oh Lord.
It's your first time on our show, but when you come back, gloves are off, girl.
All right. All right.
So your fun question tonight is, I'm just listening to your personality, getting a feel of you. Now you remember when we used to have this big box of crayons, like 64 or 120 or something crayons, and then we had so many variations of colors. If you were one of those
Yeah.
colors in that box, you could even combine them and make one of your own. But if you were one of those colors in that box, what would it be, and why did you choose that color?
Hmm. I would say purple because that's my favorite color, but I'm gonna say red.
Oh, okay. And why is that?
Fiery.
I was like, cause she fast.
Oh,
I was like fast. I said fiery.
Miss Anita fast. That's why she fiery. Listen, I'm just here to just say what it is.
Hot, okay, hot, fiery. Yeah, no, just fiery. Feisty, fiery. Yeah,
mm.
I'll believe
It's
it
funny
at
you should
that.
say purple. You said purple, and it's funny that your name is in purple. I don't know if you saw that. That was like
I
your
did.
first choice.
I
You
did.
did. Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
what drew you to the color red? I know fiery, but and you say because you say your favorite color is purple, and then you said red. What was it
well,
that
I will
drew
say my
you to
favorite
that
color is
color?
purple now. When I was younger, when I was younger, my favorite color was red.
Hmm.
And what drew you to that color? What was it about that color that just drew you into it?
Just bright, and then if you catch a good sunset, you get the mixtures of red
Ooh.
and orange, and I love sunsets. So that, just that right there.
That's interesting. You said that when you was younger, your favorite color was red, and so was mine, but for different reasons. But now I'm geared more towards black because I feel that that's a grown up color, you know. But my reasons for red, my first here I am starting to share more stuff for me. But
Miss
we're gonna
Tony fast. Listen, Miss Tony fast in real life. I just want y'all to know that.
but I chose red. My first car was red. I used to wear red because it was I'm not gonna say I still am. I'm sassy, I'm
Okay.
vibrant, and it was bright, and it just kind of reflected my personality,
Okay.
so those are just a few of the reasons why I
I
used to
think it
like red. I
reflects more of
still
my underlying personality than, yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mine is purple. I'm with you, Miss Anita. Purple is a very rich color. It is a very, to me, I'm about to mess up the word. Perceived, forget it. It's a very strategic. I'm about to. What is going on? No, I've been up since 8.
let me get my red pen out.
Listen, I've been up. I've been up. I've been up. Listen, this ain't water.
Not the red too.
But it is that color that really speaks to you. It's a color that speaks
Hmm.
before you even open up your
Yes.
mouth.
Hmm.
Purple speaks
Yes.
before you even say 2 words. You walk in a room, depending on what color purple you have on, shade, it says something. And I love that. It's a bold color that makes a bold statement. Miss Anita, we so
Right.
appreciate you coming and kicking with us here in the chat room. We want you to shout out all of your social media. We are so proud of you. I just want to say that, y'all, listen, we knew
Thank
Anita
you.
before she wrote her first book. Like literally
Uh,
sitting in class, going over
Hmm.
an idea that she had, and just being able to go through that process with her. We are so proud of you, Miss Anita.
Thank you
Yes,
so
we
much.
are.
Thank you for having me.
You are so
You're
very welcome.
welcome.
We want you to shout out all of your social media where everybody can get your books, any other virtual interviews you have coming up.
I am everywhere on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Twitter. You can search Anita L. Roseboro, Anita Roseboro Wade. I'm under there, over there as both names. Um, let's see. I'm on BookBub. My website is AnitaLRoseboro.com. I'm on
Hmm.
BookBub, Amazon, Google, Apple, you name it, my book is there. Barnes and Noble, you can find them there.
Now, I want to
All
say this
right.
before she heads out. All of you new authors, all of you authors that are trying to figure out what to do, where to do, and how to do it. All of these authors we've had on today have absolutely dropped some jewels. They've given you some resources. They've given you some new sites to go and meet readers. They've given you some new things that you can add to your walk in this journey. So you want to make sure that you're taking these notes because they've really dropped some spectacular notes on publishing.
Mhm.
They dropped notes
Mhm.
on being able to brand yourself. They dropped notes
Mhm.
on being able to move around in this industry. So you absolutely want to make sure that you are taking that and applying what you can apply to yourself because they're really, really
Mhm.
good things that they all have shared with you. Miss Anita, we appreciate you. We are so super proud of you. You are welcome back anytime. Tell your son as soon as he is done, he is welcome back too.
I will
Yes, he
tell him.
is.
Thank you so much.
You are so
You're
very
very welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye. It's been a great night, Liz.
welcome.
Mr. James Rodman came into the chat room. You see those comments he got? He's starting up some stuff, James. We got to get you up in here in the chat
Hey, Robin,
room.
he always starting. Look, he always starting some trouble. So, y'all, we will see y'all on tomorrow. The tribe will be back on tomorrow. We're excited. We have three fabulous authors coming to kick it with us on tomorrow. So, we want to see you again. We have Lori Hayes that's coming in the chat room tomorrow. Terry Ann Johnson, another scribe sister that will be on tomorrow, and J.L. Woodson is going to be kicking it with us tomorrow. Y'all, not only is he an author, but he is a dynamic graphic artist. So, y'all, we will see y'all tomorrow. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all head over to Ebony TV, check out the replays, and we're out.
See you tomorrow.